ready to get restarted. Okay. All right, I'll begin. All right, where we left off, the question had been asked by Councilmember Cagle about the specific number of full-time, part-time employees, and Mr. Jablonski had indicated that the most recent information we have here is
I've revised this to reflect the information we have in human resources. So this is complete, and full, best of my knowledge.
Including any possible vacancies.
Including vacancies, and this includes vacancies, and so these are budgeted.
No money's there for
The
vacancies.
money, yeah, this all reflects the money that we've been budgeted and proposed.
Well, I noticed here we got 19 or 20, 19 part-time, 20 part-time, and I went through this, and I could come up with one open part-time position, 12 part-time positions that's been filled, so that means we've got that's 12, 13, 7 positions that haven't been filled in part-time. That's listed on this.
I don't know if we're looking at the same information. You kind of got me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm not-
Councilman Cagle,
So
so
You want this document?
Lakeville.
Ones that list part-time, let's see if I can find it here. Look at some of these sheets y'all have. Okay, this, I'm assuming this is the latest one you give us. Okay, so I went down through. Okay. Back here in the community center, I see 1, 2, 3 part-time people.
we have community center, all our crossing guards.
Now, hold on, I'm sorry, community center, I see 3.
Across the.
Animal control is 1 part-time. That's 4 on that page. And recreation maintenance assistant part-time, there's 1. And we get over here to the police. Shows the 1 part-time open, part-time park police. Then it shows the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 school patrol. That's a total of 8. Those others I've got down, that's all the part-time that I can see that y'all got listed. They were actually paid.
I think there are a couple of additional part-time in the community center. I think Texas may not say part-time beside them, but I think the aerobics instructor and senior activities coordinator would be part-time.
They are, sir. I'm going through now. I'll go.
Yeah, they're included, it just doesn't say part-time, so.
2 more part-time. That's 16 of them. I couldn't find the other writing.
Okay, I'll
There's a
go through.
library,
I'd be glad to go
2
through
librarians,
the
2
2
part-time.
librarians and animal control. So
Yeah, we have 2 full-time positions the library, the other three.
The other three are part-time.
The library.
If I count 19, I could go through those if you like. Should I go through those? Go ahead. We've got 2 part-time police officers, and then we've got.
See, in the library, it don't say part-time, it says assistant.
Correct.
So I understood assistant people are full-time people, so.
One of them,
One, and we've got the head librarian and 1 assistant, and they're full-time, 3 budgeted department.
So there's an assistant librarian for part-time.
Yes, sir.
And actually, the custodian may be,
Two positions,
Okay, 2
budgeted
positions.
there, one is vacant, both
yes,
of
they
those
are,
are part-time.
custodians are part-time.
Those are part-time as well.
Okay.
This wasn't intended to designate part-time or full-time, but we can produce one next time it does.
Do this,
That's why I think so.
While we're talking about, the library, do you feel the head librarian's position?
No, sir, we have not. We've got to, the next council meeting, change that job description. Position description reads, we need to add to it that it could take any degree for a library sciences. Right now, it says master's in library science.
Have to have a master's.
That's what that the job description that y'all approved is the place where I got here, said master's in library science. Yes, sir, I did not.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Okay, I wasn't I wasn't part of
Body,
that either.
the council was here, yeah.
that's typically the degree that
That you look for.
head librarians would have if you go, look around, and that's gonna be the degree. It's kind of like the public administration degree for city managers, and, that's kind of the degree that it's kind of the norm.
I think it would be easier on the city, and I don't see a problem with doing it. I don't think, number one, I don't think it needs to be a master's. Number two, I think if you open it up more, someone could have a degree, not necessarily only in library sciences, but to me, someone that with a degree in literature, why wouldn't they be qualified? Someone with a teaching degree, to me, they would be qualified. I think that we are really restricting ourselves by having a master's in library science. That's number one. And now that I know that it's a master's degree, that kind of enlightens me on how much, on the reason why the salary is $44,000 a year. I did not realize that the requirement was a master's. I think if we're going to open it back up, if we're going to broaden it and make it be a bachelor's degree or something like that, I don't necessarily think that the $44,000 a year is really reflective with that position, considering that we have other positions in the city of East Ridge that pay substantially less. That's just my opinion.
I think when there was a study done, the Temple study that was commissioned 3 or 4 years ago, they came back and put ranges in, and I think that's the range that they designated for that classification. So the council might have to vote to change that.
If we're going to leave it with a master's, $44,000 a year, I think it's fine. If we're going to reduce it. Anyway.
If we do tweak the job description, I personally would like to see us leave something like, Master of Library Science preferred, or maybe not make it absolutely mandatory, but kind of give an indication to folks that this is really along the lines of what we would like to have.
All libraries, I've known more than
You might find somebody who has.
Shirley, working at the UTC library for all those years, you probably have a pretty good sense of.
Somebody could have a bachelor's working for their master's, looking for a job. You hire that type of person, but yeah, something that we can definitely look at.
discussion on the place out for the council, there is 2% raise for employees, part-time and full-time.
If we're talking about the total compensation package of employees, like I said before, I think it is only fair that the leave buyback be brought in discussion.
I disagree on it. I think they buy that one.
Mr. Jablonski, is there any possible way that you could get us a spreadsheet with how much each position pays, because including leave buyback? Could you get that? for us?
We could do that, sir.
I mean, while we're discussing it, is that possible to do, or is that too much to ask?
I can't put it, for my motion back to whoever recommend.
The salary in one column, plus the leave buyback in a separate column, equals the total amount.
We're gonna work on, get on that now.
Because the last time that leave buyback was discussed a couple of years ago, the city was spending about $240,000 a year in leave buyback. So if you're going to look at the compensation, you need to look at the total compensation, not strictly their salary.
Somebody explain leave buyback. How's it, I know what is leave buyback?
Leave buyback, you accrue leave over time, and you get paid back today, and for those hours you built up over your tenure with the city. If you've not used those for vacation or for other purposes, those are paid back out to you at today's rate of pay, which is your highest rate of pay, but that's the way it works. That's the way it's been set up to work. That's the reader's item.
The cap.
And here, well, there is no cap, is there? There is no,
Yeah,
is there?
well,
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
technically not.
Technically
Gotta go
not.
back down.
You back it back down, okay, every year to that level.
What is it, 120 now?
But that's correct.
But here's one of the issues, okay? And not picking on the police department or anything, just using them as an example. Say Chief J.R. Reed, okay, when he first began as a patrolman and he built up his days, he does not get paid back for the time when he was a patrolman. He gets paid a check written from the city at his current salary, which is chief.
Not at the earned rate.
Not at the earned rate, it's at the rate that the position has today. That's a huge number. So, and like I said, last time I looked, and neither one of these employees are here, but I'm sure that we may have some employees in the same position. Two previous employees were making almost $10,000 a year. Nothing but leave buyback. The city just writing a check. So that's why I'm saying if we're going to look at their total compensation, I think we ought to take into consideration take-home vehicles, cell phones. Let's look at the whole package. Insurance. I'm not sure that everyone fully understands the insurance package that the city provides. You've heard of Cadillac plan. Ours is a Mercedes-Benz plan. So, you know, I think we should look at the total package. Because in 2 years, Obamacare is going to penalize and fine the city for providing that Mercedes-Benz package. Any employer that provides a quote-unquote Cadillac plan is going to get penalized and be fined for that. Now, I mean, am I right or wrong, city manager?
Correct.
So that's something that we need to take into consideration as well. So see, there's a lot more involved than, let's just give everybody a raise. So it's not that simple.
In 2 years, we're gonna have to tell you what we're doing, pay the fine, or less than the insurance.
Yes.
I think ultimately what I'm interested in is, you know, if you start taking into account health insurance and leave buyback and all the rest, I don't want any of our current employees to be hurt by whatever it is we do. You know, if leave buyback goes away, we need to take into consideration the folks who have come to depend on that as part of their salary.
Well, one of the things that, I apologize for interrupting you, but one of the things that I've asked staff to do is to get with Red Bank, Collegedale, Signal Mountain, the other outlying municipalities. Also, check with the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County. See what their compensation packages are for salary, if they have a quote-unquote leave buyback program as well. So that way we can compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges.
And there was a study done by MTAS a few years ago. I know there have been some folks who questioned some of the figures that were used in that study, but at that time, I think it was Ron Darden, I believe, was our MTAS consultant at that time. He's since retired. But he conducted a study and thought that it ultimately would leave buyback save the city money. But again, you know, I would be fine looking at everything in its totality. I just don't want to end up hurting someone. Basically, their compensation being X number today, and then we go and tweak some things, and it drops below what that compensation level was today. In other words, we'd be cutting benefits, cutting pay, whatever it is, and I don't want to do that. So whatever it is we do, I would like for us to keep in mind that we don't want to hurt the people. And typically, it's those people who've been with us a long time who would take advantage of the leave buyback program. So
If they acquire this leave buyback by not taking vacations and such as that.
Yeah, and I don't want to hurt anyone either. I just simply want to get a comparison, you know, with how East Ridge compares with other municipalities, and you know, that's all. You know, for 25 years I've been a small business owner, and you know, in the small business world, and most governments budgets, most governments, the employees don't get a raise every year. That just doesn't happen. You know, I know of times when the federal government's went 3 years without giving any raises. And also the state of Tennessee's went 3 years without giving any raises. So it just doesn't, it's not in the numbers to give a raise every year. I just don't see how you can, a city cannot maintain by continuing to do that. Plus, in the past couple of months, we have paid out a substantial amount out of our reserve fund. We need to be extremely frugal in the next couple of years to build that reserve balance back up. Again, nothing to take anything away from the employees, but
And also, Mayor, I don't know if you remember or not, you probably do, and Larry probably remembers it. Back when we started doing this, that the police was taking the cars home, that was part of their raise, to be able to drive the cars back and forth to home. And fix it, well, they can't take the car back and forth, all right? Say they get a call, they gotta come all the way back down to the city, get the car, and go back out to the scene. And to me, that's gonna cost us more money, because we're gonna need more gas, it's gonna cost more overtime and everything else. I had to come all the way back down here to get the vehicle. And I'm like you on the lead buyback, I can't see hurting them any way we can, and I know Mr. Gavis said he didn't want to. I'm not going that towards you, sir. But to me, we got some great employees. And I don't want to lose none of our employees. We got some employees that are hard workers. And I just, like I said, I feel like they need a raise, and that's, and we, you know, they had, and Mr. Gavis talking about the city of Chattanooga. The city of Chattanooga makes, I think, what, 3 times more than our employees make, or more. Well, I've talked to some of them that does.
No.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. We've started the discussion. I think it probably would be good when we get the lead buyback information, and we get some of the comparison information with other cities, and essentially finish this conversation on Tuesday at the
Can I make a
meeting.
statement first? before you close?
Absolutely, please.
I was here when the buyback program got put into effect. The way they had our sick leave and our vacation pay, I lost 7 or 8 days when they put the buyback thing back in. What they did back then was copy TVA's leave program. That's where the leave buyback program, because they hired a gentleman that was work personnel through TVA. Now he's in the insurance business and stuff, but he's the one that came in and changed our leave program and went to the leave buyback and cut our vacation and our sick days. That's when it started. And then we were carry over 328 days, 320 hours per year. And they paid us back at that rate of pay that we were making then. Not when we earned it, just like the state was making. And the longer I was here, I got to be one of those gentlemen that he was talking about that got dependent on that $10,000 a year because I didn't take my vacation because of the lack of employees. If employees took their vacation, then there we said shorthanded. Everybody remember at the garage, we had 3 mechanics, winter they closed it, and myself. So if any of us ever took a vacation, I put the garage in dire need. So, and at the time they closed it, I think there were 3 of us down there using our buyback leave. So, if you take that away from these people that's been here for 30 years, or 20 years, and now you've got employees that don't earn the buyback leave, which I personally don't think is legal. You're offering one employee one benefit, and another employee another benefit.
And I agree with you there. I think it's probably illegal as well.
Buyback leave, in my opinion, the one that's here, let's don't penalize them because they've earned every penny.
All right. Any other comments on this? Like I said, if it's okay with everybody, just so we have all the information that we can possibly get on the leave buyback and again, comparison information from other cities. Let's resume this conversation about salary increases and maybe looking at overall compensation for Tuesday night. Okay. All right. Does anyone have anything else?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
gasoline, that's big. I feel like personally, someone needs to contact some of these major gasoline dealers and see what they propose. Gasoline's gonna go up since the price of oil is going up. And I noticed since we went to Nashville, we went from 244 up here to 250 kind of gallon. So, are we gonna figure that today's rate, or are we gonna allow 20% for next year's rate on our gasoline budget? natural gas, propane?
Natural, liquid and natural gas.
That has been proposed to the city one time before. Unless we can get it put in our station out here.
They can do that.
Back then, we had to go downtown.
Now, they're gonna build this, if it's approved, they're gonna build it right up Brooks Road. They can also put in, wherever we want, if we want to put one down around behind the hospital, they can put a few of this, wherever there's a 12-inch main line close to, they can run to that.
Back then, there was this threat of the rear-end collision with carrying the bottles back there and the lines rupturing, and especially in the police car. You know,
This is mainly just big trucks, million cars, but big trucks and stuff such as that.
All right. Have anything else? Thank you all for being here today, and we will see you on Tuesday night.